Hey.
Oh.
Excellent. Fantastic.
Are we unmuted?
Okay.
We are. Okay.
Not muted. Excellent. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bad Decisions Club presents Rugged Tumble Werewolves. What is Rugged Tumble Werewolves, you may ask? And the answer to that is I went online and I found Sexy Battle Wizards by Grant Howitt. And I was like, this is dope as fuck. But what if it was werewolves? So then I made a hack of it. And that's what we're going to be playing today. It's rugged. It's tumbled. It's werewolves. On screen, you can see at some point, I don't know if I missed it because I currently am looking at the Twitch view so that I can see what's happening. Is like the horribly bad, not as good version of this one-page RPG as you could find in Grant Howitt's stuff. Quick and dirtiest for this is there are 3 stats for your werewolf. Rugged, which is the sexy stat. It is the charm of the people with your animalistic nature and sexy hot bod. There's Tumble, which is the one that we're going to be using to fight with because you got to have a fight stat. And then there's Werewolf, which is the ability to do werewolfy things, including turning into werewolves or potentially not turning into werewolves. For the like information stuff, this our lovely players here and here have rated their stats on a scale of 1 to 3. They get 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3 of how rugged they are, how tumble they are, and how werewolf they are. Is excellent and perfect.
And these aren't just random characters.
They're characters. So currently, why don't we, before we get into like the meat of the 2.5 paragraphs that is the rule set for this game, why don't y'all tell us who you're playing, and what your stats are.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Go for it.
Roll Tumble to see who goes first.
I'll go first. I'm Gail or Olivia, and tonight I will be playing Batthew Bouldershoulder, a cousin of Barnabas Bouldershoulder, who was turned into a werewolf by a PC werewolf Vic. And his stats are he's got a 3 in rugged because he's very handsome, a 2 in tumble, he knows how to handle himself in a fight, and a 1 in werewolf. He's very new to this wolf thing.
And I am reprising my role as the one, the only Kevin Bonewolf. Yes, Kevin Bonewolf, formerly captain of the guard over at Blasingdale, now a soldier in Barnabas's encampment, and also apparently a werewolf, having also agreed to undergo a ritual that Victoire totally, absolutely, and correctly convinced him would help him in his combat duties. And speaking of combat, he is a 3 in rugged. He was captain of the guard. He's all about that hacky slashy. And speaking of which, werewolf is his number 2, because he's also kind of new to this whole werewolf thing, but I think he's taking to it pretty well. And finally, 1 for rugged.
You mean a 3 in tumble?
I meant 3 in tumble. What did I say? Did I say
you said 3 in rugged?
God damn. Okay, 3 in tumble, 2 in werewolf, and 1 in rugged, because let's face it, Kevin Bonewolf is very good at what he does, and what he does is not charismatic. That's not who he is.
Correct.
He's a very direct and not terribly pleasant individual. He's great to drink with, but not good to get into an argument with.
Excellent. Okay. So we have some tables here that we're going to do first before, once again, I get into the 2.5 paragraphs of the actual details. I would like each of you to roll 1d6 to tell us why is your character so rugged.
Excellent.
Okay, so
we both got 5.
Now, here's the question. Do you want to both be the same number, or does one of you want to change?
I want to re-roll.
Okay, so would you like to keep the 5?
Oh, yeah, I will keep the 5. Yes, 100%.
Keep the 5. Okay. Then Batthew, will you please reroll, please? Okay. With
All right.
We'll start with Kevin. Your ruggedness comes from the fact that you are a dangerous rebel with a cool jacket.
Whoa,
Please
whoa,
describe
whoa,
your
hold
jacket.
on, hold on. The coolest jacket. Thank you.
How cool is this jacket? Please tell us. I need to know.
The
wants to know.
The jacket was once a guard's jerkin. Yes, when he was captain of the guard. It used to be very pristine and very clean and very well tailored. But he had it on and closed the first time that he transformed. So now it is a sort of tattered mass of cloth that splits open at the sides that not only looks fucking badass, but is big enough to handle when he transforms up into his werewolf form without necessarily breaking it further. We'll see what happens.
So he keeps the jacket on
together by something like safety pins or something.
We're talking full Hulk Hogan here, yeah, like early '80s Hulk Hogan, where he flexed and the shirt ripped off.
Now, on the other hand, Batthew, you have rolled a 1, which is sculpted muscles. Please describe these.
So Batthew, I would think D&D wise, he was more of like a ranger, a scout before becoming a werewolf. So like he takes long jogs and runs through the woods, and I think that has sculpted him over the centuries. So he's a dwarf. He's short and stout, but like chiseled.
Like, so what you're saying is that if he was a part of Norse mythology, he would have given certain like sexy hot frost giants like, oh, maybe I'll be into those feet instead. That's right. I know stupid mythology stuff. All right. Okay. Second table. I would like 2d10. I know it's normally a d6 system, y'all, but I need 2d10. And we're going to take their numbers to determine your signature weapon.
Signature weapon. All right, let's do it.
Weapon. For the audience, in Sexy Battle Wizards, this would normally tell you what your type of magic would be.
Okay,
it's
so
kind of a type of magic.
I'm rolling the 100-sided die, and we'll just go in order, 10s and then 1s. So okay. I got 10 and 4. So a force axes, or not a force axes, force axes.
You got force axes. Nice. Excellent.
I have no idea what that means, but I'm super excited to find out.
Does that mean that like you're just holding the handles and people can't actually see like the blade until it hits them?
No, that might be exciting. We'll find out. What do we got? What do we got for you?
Why can't I see the numbers on your dice?
Because I made them the same color.
Why would you do that?
I'm gonna re-roll that then. I don't want the same thing.
What is this?
That is the second time. We are really like on the same page here. We are rolling the exact same thing every time.
You know what? Actually, I like the idea of you having the same weapons.
Force blades and force axes.
Yeah, I like it. It's good for me. Now, so in D&D terms, these characters both have at least 3 levels of Blood Hunter, which as a part of the Blood Hunter class, they have the ability to cut themselves open, essentially, draw their own blood, take a little bit of damage in order to enchant their weapons with some sort of magic type or energy type. So why don't we consider that the thing? Is in the sense of if we get into a combat, there is no hit points in this game, so it'll just be like flavor and shit. You can basically like slice yourself open somehow, like something sexy, make it good, and then that'll be what pulls your weapons out and lets them do damage. But I do like the idea that they're basically just handles.
Until we activate the blade of it.
Yeah, exactly. But also it means that you could pick up any stick in the world. And that seems fine and okay, and definitely not broken in any way, shape, or form. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the last one is you're gonna roll another d6, and this will determine what form your werewolf side takes.
Would it be
Also,
okay?
in this one, you can turn fully into a wolf instead of just like that hybrid shape. So,
Would it be all right if I chose this one? Or do you want me to roll?
I would prefer if you rolled,
Okay.
personally.
You got it.
That's wrong.
Wow. Again. There is some serious
Both of you re-roll that shit.
probability
that
nonsense happening here.
There we go.
Better.
So
What
we
the
got
fuck?
Batthew, go ahead.
I got a 6, and yeah, Batthew looks like got a 5.
Okay, so Kevin, you are an Alexander Archipelago wolf. And Batthew, you are a Eurasian wolf. Okay, so we got some like dark fur going on, very rare, very not normal in Faerun. I run Eberron games, y'all. And then a Eurasian wolf, I'm assuming, is probably one of the most common wolves in this area anyway. You probably fit right in.
So we have the most common wolf and one of the rarest wolves, so that's kind of cool. People would see Batthew's form and just be like, "Oh, it's a regular wolf," and they'd see Kevin's form and be like,
all right. Okay, so now that we have our characters built, they have their dope ass force weapons and their cool rugged code and their chiseled abs. Now let's talk about mechanics. Now that's a little bit weird. So all of their stats are d6s. The number assigned to rugged, tumble, or werewolf will be the number of d6s that they roll. Now, generally the difficulty will be a 4, which means that you need to roll a 4 or higher on your d6, or multiple d6s. The number on the dice has to be higher in order to succeed.
So
4 is your general.
We're not adding up the dice to make a sum. We just look at each die individually.
It is kind of like a success system, like any of the World of Darkness games, if you've heard of those.
No, never heard of them. What's that?
So you only ever you're looking at your highest. Yeah, you're looking for your highest result on one die.
The difficulty of the check is based on how much of an impact it would have. So for instance, if you're I'm trying to turn into a wolf, that's going to be a 4 difficulty if I make you roll at all. We're in the full moon, y'all. All werewolf rolls will be considered to be 1 higher.
Oh, okay. I like that.
It's the full moon. You got to do some wolf stuff. It's going to be easier because it's the full
potentially get a 7.
Potentially get a 7. Which would mean that a super hard against the odds roll would have no potentially. So the way that this works is if they get
I missed what you said between have no and potentially. You said that their rolls would have no
could have no downsides. So if you roll above the number, that means the players will get to dictate what happens, judging the outcome of their roll. If they meet the number, it means that they will that they get to do the thing that they were setting out to do, but something bad will happen to them, which I will describe, and they will get 1 stress. Note stress. Put that in a different corner. If they get lower than the number, they fail at what they're trying to do, and they get a stress and a determination. Now, what are these 2 things? That seems weird and strange. Stress is basically injury, craziness, emotions, and stuff that could get in the way. And what this does is when your stress gets too high and you fail a roll and your highest dice is lower than the amount of stress that happens, you completely transform into wolf and go out into the woods for a bit. Like 10 minutes, you gotta like meditate, drink some water.
Oh, I'm sure that's what I'm doing out there, yeah.
Your shit and then come back. Because, this is a one-shot for now. And we don't want to be just with like, oh, both of our wolves have gone off into the woods and done wolf stuff for a bit. What now? Determination is a point that you can drop into your dice pool as a new D6 to give you another chance if you need it.
So essentially a +1 dice to whatever we're
It's a
rolling.
+1 die. However,
Like you have to spend it to use it.
you got to spend it to use it, 1. And 2, I'm going to say that you have to spend it before you roll.
That seems fair
So
to me.
before you roll all the dice, you need to know how many you're rolling. Okay.
Correct. But like I said, all werewolf rolls are going to be considered to be like a D6, but you're rolling 2 to 7 instead of 1 to 6.
Okay.
Yeah, that's literally all of the rules. So this is wild, and I literally came up with what's happening in the shower earlier today. My hair is still wet, if that tells you how long ago.
I'm excited.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Before you get started, I gotta say it's nice for once being on this side of the DM screen. It's pretty cool. I'm looking
you're
forward to this.
often on the other side of the DM screen, just not on stream.
But not on stream. Yeah.
Not on stream.
It's nice. Anyway.
All right. Okay. We are in the Bouldershoulder's camp. There is some movement currently happening. There has been the beginning of the full moon rising. You, as werewolves, have been called into talk with His Majesty, who has given you the task of dealing with any of the the roving wildling werewolves that are thought to be attacking the camp. There are a number of orc werewolves, and the such in the nearby area. Now, you are generally being sent on patrol for all intents and purposes. However, there has been an amount of information that has come back through Anton and his group that there were some druidy shenanigans and some pumpkins and the such as well. Now, as a group, now mind you, there's normally 3 of you, but Bevan is dealing with some personal issues with his wife and kids right now. There was some stress. There's some things happening in his family life, and he is currently dealing with that on the night of the full moon, which is obviously the correct decision. But instead, the 2 of you are going to be going out on patrol. And the goal is, if you can find any of the druids specifically, either try to win them to the Bouldershoulder's side or deal with the problem. Now, you as werewolves have had some interesting situations with the moon. It's only been about a month since you've turned. This is the first full moon since you have gone through the blood ritual to turn you into what you are now.
I'm sure it's gonna be fine.
It'll be fine. There's gonna be probably some it'll be fine. There was a tiny bit in the lecture before the actual instigation of the change was that it might not be great, and maybe you might want to think about chaining yourself to a tree during it, but that person is currently indisposed at the moment and can't really give you guidance.
Also, we got a job to do.
Yeah. And you have shit to do. Now, you have gotten some training. You have these cool new weapons that you've started figuring out. It does take a little bit of blood to activate, but it's not. So you got that. You have plenty of that.
Chock full of it.
The question is, you know that you need to head north into the woods. Now, we have a former scout and a former captain of the guard. How do you want to start this? After you've gotten your general direction of where you're headed, talk to me about how you get into the space.
Well, like there hasn't actually been an incursion yet in this area, right? Like there's the scouts have run into things every so often, but nothing's actually come this close to this camp at this side of the mountain yet, right?
There is the general feeling that if they're gonna hit tonight.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you're managing to get out just a little bit earlier, like as the moon is starting to rise, which is like there is something poetic in the nature of like waiting until the moon is like all the way full and completely visible before the attack starts. It's like waiting until high noon before doing the shootout.
Yeah.
In the middle of it's like you gotta wait, like you can't do it at 11:30.
All right, so we need to get into position before the moon is at its apex. I mean, pick a direction and go. I don't think Batthew's giving this too much. He's a scout. He's been working this area for like more than a month now. I think he has like different trails that he likes to take, and I think he'll just pick one and go with it if that'll work. So I guess he's trying to use his like rely on his experience.
You don't have to roll it unless if you want to you intend to shift down to Wolf to do it. That's more of a like how much distance do you want to get, because you know the area.
Yeah, I think he definitely wants to get into the kind of little bit of no man's zone, where it's not fully controlled and patrolled by the Bouldershoulder stuff, but we're not in like the orc camp proper yet. So I think he definitely wants to get into that zone between the two to keep watch before the moon gets too high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin, what are you feeling?
So Kevin will, as he sees, is it Batthew or Bevan? Which one are you? Batthew. He's gonna. Kevin's gonna keep making that mistake. So as you're sort of
not like your name. It's the one that's not like your name.
As you're sort of looking out at the forest to the north, Kevin will look down and say, I don't know these areas. So you choose the path, and when we get into trouble, I'll get us out of it. Yeah?
Yeah, I'll lead, because I'm the alpha. And then he just starts going.
Kevin will move on with him. You know that alphas aren't a real thing in the wild, right?
Vic says they're a real thing with werewolves. I know it's not a real thing with actual wolves.
It is a real thing with werewolves.
Right.
Cut over to Vic. Actually, it is a real thing with werewolves because men cut back. All right. So, as you run into the woods, are you on 2 legs or 4?
I think it'll be 2 until we're out of like the normal patrolled area. I don't know if like the cat's out of the bag yet as far as like the actual dwarves also, knowing that they're werewolves.
We know that silver weapons have been deployed, and we don't want to get mistaken for the wrong thing at the wrong time. So yeah, I think getting outside of the perimeter first, then going 4 legs is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
Oh, as an unrelated side note to the audience, there may or may not be some body horror trigger warnings in this. I'm so sorry.
I mean,
we're playing characters who literally like change their bodies in horrific ways. So yeah, that's fair. But yes, good call.
As a heads up, we could Teen Wolf this if we wanted to. I'm a bad person. This is excellent.
So yeah, as soon as we get past the like regularly patrolled Bouldershoulder area, I think Batthew would try to transform.
Excellent. Then in that case, I would like you to roll me werewolf. Your difficulty is a 3 for all intents and purposes instead of a 4. Instead of adding the +1s, I'll just knock the difficulty down.
Yeah. No, we both made it because remember, full moon tonight, werewolves count as 1 more.
Instead of saying a standard difficulty 4, I knocked it down to a standard difficulty of 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, damn it, why am I not a wooing?
Well, neither of us fully succeeded.
Neither of us fully succeeded. That is correct.
All right, so I get a stress, and you get a stress and a determination.
All right. So here's the thing. It is the wolf moon. It is the full moon. I guess it's not technically in January, so it's not really the wolf moon. It is the full moon. You're still going to transform to an extent. So the question is, Batthew, you managed to transform. You're this beautiful gray wolf. You do still have dwarf ears, though.
Oh.
Perfect.
We'll wait.
still have dwarf ears. It's not that bad, but your hearing is just a little off. Like you're used to in your wolf form to be able to like have your senses expand through the entire forest. Like you can hear movement, but it's like you're muffled just a little bit, right? Now it seems fine. You can work around that. Kevin, please roll me a D6.
A D6, no problem. I got a 5. I don't like that look.
So as you're trying to force this change, you're trying to calm yourself to like let that wolf out, and you start your skin starts like stretching a little bit, and then you realize your fingers are getting smaller. That's like a good part of the change. You have developed wolf paws. That is what you have managed to do right now. You have wolf paws. Other than that, you are a person. You have lost your thumbs.
Well, no nachos for me.
Batthew will look up at you, see, and give a wolf shrug and take off running. And he's much faster. So
God damn it, wait up.
Keep up.
Your transformation will take a little bit longer. You can re-roll again in a moment.
Okay.
As soon as you can get to a place where you can stop, you can or you can try as you're running, which is fine.
Ooh.
I would suggest spending that determination.
So I think with all the scouting he's done around here, Batthew would know about a abandoned fox den, under a big tree that he is thinking about going, and that's where he wants to stake out from.
Okay. Perfectly fine. I'm gonna say that Batthew manages to take a corner really nice and kind of just slide, drift right into it.
Where Batthew, where did
if he walks in front of me, I'm gonna not bite, but nip at his ankle.
Excellent.
Raise a paw at him for a moment and gotta stop doing that.
The moon is starting to climb. It's at the beginning it had just crested the edge of the mountains that you were using to watch it. Now, mind you, this is fair, and there's 7 moons, but this is the one that matters.
This is the main moon.
This is the one that matters. It's been at least a half hour than that, so it's about 2 fingers up on the horizon now. It is not fully out, but I'm going to give you another chance if you'd like to shift down into a wolf, or if you want to go into the hybrid, which will give you your thumbs back.
I'll take a look around, and I'll listen for a moment. I'm not hearing any immediate danger.
No, there's no immediate danger right now, but the tree, the canopy is relatively dense here, and there's some big trees.
So 4 legs it is, I think, is the way to go. Okay. Now it's still difficulty 3, right?
Still going to be difficulty of a 3 because
I'm not spending a determination, because I swear to God, probability is not on the side of me failing this again. But of course, who knows? There we go.
Okay. Unilateral success.
Excellent. You have succeeded. You can take either your wolf shape or your hybrid shape just fine. As you have fully succeeded. This is your description of where you end up.
So, Kevin is a fairly bulky individual as a person. And when he shifts down, he shifts into a very large, but also kind of lean, and just pitch, midnight black wolf. And the only thing that's really visible when you see him at night are those glowing yellow eyes.
Also, he's still wearing his jacket.
Also, he's still wearing his jacket. And it looks amazing. Even more amazing than it did on his human form.
Do I have to roll to see if I can put on my ears?
No, you can just put on your ears. You managed to shake the ears into it as well. That's fine. All right. As your senses of the forest begin to like widen, instead of being like the normal human and or dwarf senses that are very like localized, you're starting to hear the movements and the low growling and howls of werewolves that are unfamiliar to you. More specifically, because there's only 2 to 3 other werewolves that you actually know. So like, and you know where those people are. So these are definitely not your friends. You hear, as you open your senses to this world, movement in the trees. Or like, not necessarily like people, but like wind. And you notice that even though it is becoming nighttime, the sounds of night insects are absent. There is a relatively ominous silence, as the only things that you can hear are those distant wolves and wind.
Is the
and
wind...
like the occasional creaking of trees. I guess trees make noise when they exist in reality.
Is the wind coming down from the north? Like, are we downwind, or are we potentially upwind of the enemy?
You are currently downwind at the moment.
All right. We should be okay for now.
So, what's our play? I mean, I guess it kind of depends on how many there are, but we're supposed to keep a lot of it busy, right? Pull attention.
Yes. Keep as many of them off of the rest of the dwarves as possible. If we can identify someone who seems to be in charge, then we can make that decision then. But for now, we wait, we watch, we try not to get discovered. If we find ourselves in a position where we can take out a patrol, and we think we can do it cleanly, then we will. But for now, we wait, we watch.
They're not... Vic explained it, but I was kind of, we were all tripping balls at the time. But we're not the same kind of werewolf they are. Like, they don't get the magic shit that we get, but they have like different strengths. I can't remember. Do they actually become full wolves? Like they're talking like they're 2 wolves, just like talking to each other right now. Do they become full wolves like us, or do they only have that hybrid form?
King Barnabas told me that the ones that he fought were in the hybrid form. I don't know.
Clarification for the audience. Technically, werewolves in D&D do not have a wolf shape. We are bullying this as bullshit for this particular game.
No, I like it. I like that, like, Vic is such an oddity, and she's technically not from this plane, right? So, like,
not from this plane.
So werewolves made from her blood can be a little weird.
I'm fine with that. That seems totally normal and okay. If it matters, Vic is like a werewolf. It's not a wolf, it's a chimera technically, but
well, that's but her shifter form, right? And then she also has the werewolf form.
Yes, but the werewolf form is lore for the normal game. Her werewolf form, it's not. It is a wolf in the extent of mechanically, but visually, it's like
it still has the horns.
Monster.
Yeah,
it's a monster. It's werewolf in the way that druids in World of Warcraft are, wolf when they do that.
Okay, I would love to make a werewolf roll to see if I can, like, through hearing, through smell, because they are upwind of us right now, it's like, see if I can know the direction of the nearest group of these orc werewolves.
Yeah, give me a werewolf roll, please. That's going to be a difficulty 4. Okay. Nope, 3 because of the numbers.
Hey,
you got it. Okay. Smelling or hearing?
I think at this point it would be Now let's go smell. Like he
Okay.
sticks his head up out of the fox den and just like takes a sniff at all the different wind that's coming through.
So technically, you get to describe to me where they are, as you succeeded in this roll.
I think he sniffs and he can sniff that there's multiple different groups, but the closest one I think would be kind of diagonal northwest of where the fox den is. And I think he does that like dog kind of like point thing first, and then he looks back at Kevin like, you ready to go? I got him.
How many?
Can I tell through the smell how many?
I would
tell through the smell.
Okay.
You can try.
Yeah, I will also attempt a werewolf check now that I know where to smell.
Yes. Absolutely. 100%. How many targets are in this group?
This particular
What do they have for
group.
breakfast?
So first off, they reek of pumpkin pie.
Gross.
And secondly, what we have here are 2 lycanthropic orcs and 1 orc that wasn't able to make the transformation. So 1 orc that is still fully orc. And the 3 of them are on a scouting party looking kind of sort of for skirmishes with folks like us.
Okay. You know where your targets are. You know about how far away they are. You know how many there are. How are you intending to approach this? Do we want to go fast and hard? Do you want to maybe hey baby, let's see what happens in the backwoods? Or what? What is the approach here?
All right. So
also, I'm gonna say that you guys, you 2 can both move to your shifter form without a roll. It is moving all the way to human or all the way to wolf that requires the roll.
I think we should go intimidating. This first one, we should there's the 1 orc that's not a werewolf. We should run. We should each grab one of that dude's ankles and carry him off into the woods and split him against a tree if we can. I think that would be a good opening move.
I think that at present we have the advantage of surprise, and we should make full use of that. Now, that would be very surprising. That would be very surprising. But I think we can take advantage more. Perhaps if we dig some sort of... No, too easy for them to hear. No, I think grabbing the orc and running into the woods is the way to go.
Do it.
All right.
So take off running.
Gonna take off running. Are you staying wolf or are you gonna transform?
I think wolf for now.
I'm gonna go ahead and go up into shifter form.
Okay. In
you
your
go low,
form,
I'll go high.
Do the 4 legs if you need to. You can do the 2 legs if you need to. It's kind of it's the neutral version.
Batthew is a table. We got this.
Excellent. And that ripped coat though is very
good. Flapping in the breeze.
Love it. All right. As you approach, I'm going to take a tumble roll from the both of you. It's going to be if one of you succeeds, then it's going to be a success. That type of a thing. To grab the non-hybrid shaped wolf. I would also like a rugged roll from both of you to count as kind of technically like a stealth to an extent, so that the other wolves don't see you. I'll take the rugged first, then the tumble.
We're trying to pull the Batman, right? We're they move forward a few feet. They're all arguing about something, and then suddenly that guy's like, huh!
All right. Yeah. So rugged first. What's the difficulty?
Rugged first. I'm gonna say audacious. So give me a 5.
Nailed it.
Absolutely.
Wait, was that the rugged or the tumble?
The rugged. You can hold on to that tumble roll. Give me a rugged roll.
That was my tumble roll, yes. Not bad on the rugged or on the rugged roll either.
I think because I'm still on 4 legs.
But, I got the 6. Difficulty 5, yeah.
That I get there before you do and sweep this dude.
Yeah, for sure. I'm checking things. So, Kevin.
Yes.
You are going to be taking another stress and another determination for your failure. Please mark. Batthew, you have absolutely succeeded. Please tell me what you do and how you manage to get in and around. This is to show up there without being alerted. And then I will give the negative downside on that side.
I think I kind of like, because I'm running right next to him, I can sense that Kevin's not being quite as quiet as I would have preferred, so I break wide. And as he's making noise over there, I just like out of a bush that was taller than I am, I come from behind where these three are walking, and I grab the ankle of the Justin Orc, and I literally take him off into another bush, and like all the time that the other two have to turn around and see it is they just hear, and he's gone, and the bushes are like settling.
Excellent.
Yes, I definitely pulled their attention on purpose so you could do just that. Yes.
100%.
Excellent.
100%.
All according to plan.
Of course, they notice you. They see you and they approach. Like they immediately get like bigger. They're already big. They get
not big enough.
Activated, ready. They become wolfies. They get ready. They like pull out a weapon. They're like ready to fight. And then I'm gonna have Batthew roll me the tumble because Kevin has already rolled the tumble. This is also a 5.
All right. Oof.
Take your stress and determination.
Stress and determination.
Yep. Oh, Kevin, you can also mark another stress because you make your tumble check, but it is meets it. You are able to do some attacks to these werewolves, Kevin. You are also going to take some damage as well.
With
but
2 5s?
To, think about how you're going to...
Just to be clear, you said the difficulty was 5, right?
Yes, a difficulty of 5 on your... on
my tumble.
Your tumble check, which you did get a 5.
I got
which
2.
Is a meet. Yes.
It's just 1. It just cares about the highest.
Oh, it only cares about the highest.
Yes.
That was a thing. I understand now. So it's only the highest roll. Got it. See, that was me. I was thinking of it like Scion or all those where you roll a certain, like a fistful of dice, and each one that's high enough is a success. Got it. Okay, 5. Understood.
Okay,
so you've done it.
So now I know when to use my my determination.
Yes, it gives you an extra chance. You're gonna be able to do some. You're gonna do some combat with these guys.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna take some damage. Obviously, I'm gonna let you decide how that goes. On the other hand, Batthew, you managed to pull this guy into the woods, but he gets the fuck away somehow, or maybe gets a hit on. I'm actually, I'm gonna let you guys describe how it goes bad for you. Beth, you did mark stress and determination for your failure. Yes?
1 stress and determination. Yeah. So I picture like I grab him, pull him through the bush, perfectly executed, and then I keep running, and it takes me a second to realize I just only have a boot in my mouth.
Yes. Perfect.
Excellent. He did manage to he's in the bush now. That's the problem.
He grabbed onto the bush, and I kept going.
Fantastic. Perfect.
So Kevin Bonewolf, having been noticed, stands up to his full height and strides toward them with a big old fanged grin on his face. And they start walking forward. He's like, "Oh yeah." And he stands there and straight up takes the first hit. So he stands there as one of them lunges forward with a massive claw and slashes right down the center of his chest, leaving a deep furrow all the way down. And he just
cutting a little bit into his cool jacket.
Only making it cooler, by the way.
Obviously.
And he looks down at the blood, he grins, and with that blood, 2 axes made out of essentially light burst into existence in his hands. And he's able to lay the first one out with a couple of very quick 1-2 slashes right back to the chest, which leave these sizzling wounds that kind of smell like kind of smell like beef. Mmm. Like cooking meat.
Right.
You're the one that gave the body horror warning.
Yeah, but I was
This
thinking
is
like,
on
you know,
you.
you like rip your body open like this and like a wolf pops out. Like you leave a skin pile in the background. Like, ooh.
You cauterize the wound
cooked
if
meat
you make
is
it.
bad.
Mm.
I can smell it now. No.
There's burnt fur in that smell too.
Oh, that's even worse.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
And then he'll look up at the other one and just kind of again meet his eyes and give him that, come on.
come get it. Come get it, child. Batthew. As you realize the taste of boot is bad.
In all situations.
In every single situation, y'all.
Unless you're into that.
In every single one. No, even then, it's also bad then. You're gonna you slide up against a tree, like, you know, legs go up and you can scramble back down if you'd like. Otherwise you can just keep running and like go off into the woods. What is your stress levels actually?
I'm at 2 currently. I'm at 2.
And Rob, where are you at?
I'm at 3.
I'm at 3.
Oh, I'm stressed.
We got some stress going on here. Okay. There is a downed orc in the woods. There is Batthew, as a full wolf currently, you can start hearing low chanting. You start hearing low chanting specifically from that bush as you start to see vines start to like tighten around the form that you had left in that bush before it stands up, kind of like a wooden construct that has grown out of vines. For the sake of D&D, it's basically bark skin, okay?
Yeah.
Except that it's very literal bark skin at this point in time. As this orc who is starting to turn himself, for all intents and purposes, into a wood elemental.
Batthew sees that, and in his brain goes, I found a druid! And he takes the boot that's still in his thing, and he chucks it like behind him. He's like, all right, let's go.
I would like a tumble roll for chucking the boot. This will not give you stress if you fail it. I want you to know that now. It will not give you stress or determination if you fail it, but please give me a tumble roll with a difficulty of 4.
No.
You're fine. Don't worry about that. That does not give you anything. I can make shit up, guys.
I'll start. I'm gonna charge back towards him and like as I get closer, I'm gonna go from the 4 legs up to the 2 leg, and I want to like scratch along the collarbones to bring the blades out, and I want to try to like intimidate him, just like kind of like with the force of me coming at him, like scare him backwards.
All right, give me rugged. Give me it with a difficulty of 5.
Nice. That was a 6. Love that.
Yes. We're going to pause from that with the roll in limbo. You can think about what happens. We're going to switch back over to Kevin. Kevin, as you're like, you do that like come at me, bro, motion with one of your axe hands. You see slightly beyond this guy, the other dude stand up, and then stand up, and then stand up, and kind of like menace out into the woods. It's not like your problem right now. This guy right here is in front of you. He's going to attack you. But there is also that problem if you want to use it in the future. You're
big. I fought bigger.
There you go. But that is the druid in the background. You currently have a werewolf menacing at you and in the process of making swings. I would like a tumble roll from you. This is going to be a standard difficulty of 4, as this is not going to be like super audacious and risky and shit.
This is me avoiding the strike, right?
This is you doing fighting.
Awesome. I'm gonna spend
because fighting is hard.
I'm not.
It's just gonna be tumble rolls.
So as this guy comes at me, I'm gonna go ahead and spend both of my determination.
You can do some kick ass. Got it.
Which I believe brings it down to a 2. Yes.
No.
This adds additional dice.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So instead of rolling 3d6, you would be rolling 5.
Excellent. There's the 6. That's what I'm talking about. That could have been
very bad.
Wow. On my side, it's almost perfectly in order. 1, 2, 3, and then 6, 4.
Yep.
So I'll take that 6, please, and thank you very much.
All right. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Kevin, you're going to describe how you do a fight with this guy. Now, because this is fairly abridged, and we're not going to get really deep into like how combat works and stuff. For all intents and purposes, you're going to do murder here. So please do a lot of murder. I'm going to add to this that Batthew, you have the ability to do intimidation and such to the other person. And if you want to affect each other's descriptions, since you have both succeeded, you may, as long as the other person is okay with it.
So
I think you should start.
Yeah, I'm going to start by saying that the moment that like this large wooden druid sculpture begins to lift up, Kevin looks up and immediately sees his new target and damn near forgets that this other guy was even there. And this other orc werewolf, who is clearly not used to being in the form of a werewolf, this might have been his first night actually transforming. Ooh. Just barrels forward at him, and without even skipping a beat, he takes just a quick sidestep to the left, brings his right axe across his body, and straight up decapitates the werewolf orc as it charges, not losing.
Did you slap a werewolf?
Not losing sight of the creature that is growing in the distance. That is the target. That guy was just a distraction, and it's gone now.
Okay. He pimp slapped a werewolf, y'all. So hard that his head came off.
So I think actually for the rugged intimidation roll, I think the druid does see all of what Kevin Bonewolf did as it's turning, because it sees the movement of Batthew coming in, running on all fours, and then seamlessly shifting up to the hybrid form and summoning the force blades by like cutting into his collarbones. Very chiseled collarbones and chest, by the way. Even like under the fur, you can tell. And just like as he comes, like, you know, teeth bared forward with blood now glistening on the chest in the full moonlight as it's starting to come through the gaps of the trees, I think Batthew says, like, surrender if you want to live. And I think the druid maybe has a moment of...
Or don't!
But the effect I want to have is not just pure fear onto the druid. I want the druid to be impressed with how much better we are at being werewolves than whoever the fuck he was walking with.
We've had 2 whole weeks. Unlike these guys who had apparently a day and a half. Jeez. Get good, son. You know what? Actually, I think that seems perfect. This druid is terrified. I want to be perfectly clear here. Druid's scared. But the change that the druid has done on themselves to become more or less an elemental by way of wrapping themselves in vine and making vine armor starts to like condense and like squeeze in, the druid is like reabsorbing it a little bit, but to an extent it's kind of like armadillo rolling. So this is a protective cover that's layering on top. They seem to be like for sure impressed, like as much as you can tell looking at a tree face. But they don't seem like they're intending to fight, but like they're slowly turning into like a rock. Like, just, I'm good here, actually. You know what? You continue with your thing. I'm just gonna be here and not exist. you do have the impetus to, if you can, sway them to your cause to do so. But you can also do murders. You can also like bind them. I say with big quotes, bind them. However you want to do that.
I think as Batthew, like this guy's clearly like not aggressive anymore. He's like,
yeah, he's starting to be like, oh.
Like as Batthew comes forward, he's gonna be trying to like see if like there's any symbol or sigil or anything on him that is, because we know that supposedly the druids working with the orcs are worshipping Malar. So I want to see if like, is there any symbol of that? Does this person wear any station of his office at all?
Okay. This org, which is like they're condensing and becoming more and more, like their AC is bumping like every round for all intents and purposes.
It's a metapod.
It's a metapod. That's correct. This orc druid is now a metapod. That seems like, I like it. That's canon. You do notice that there is a brand on this druid. Okay, specifically a brand of Malar. Less so that you believe is like a follower of Will, if that makes sense. This is not somebody who began following Malar of their own choice.
Yeah, sure.
So Kevin is walking up like retribution itself. Like he has blood on his face, blood on his chest. His majestic coat is soaked with blood in places, making it somehow even cooler. And there is like blood sizzling and evaporating off of his blades, making a red mist follow him as he walks forward. And then he sort of glances down at Batthew with a, am I gonna kill it kind of look.
It like holds up one claw. Like kind of crouches, like I imagine in his shifted form he's taller than he normally is as a dwarf. Sure. So kneels down next to this like kind of crouching druid and goes, like, he's holding his force blade up, just kind of, you know, casually flipping it back and forth, saying, you know, we're actually really new at this, but you see, we're this good, and we didn't have any of that bullshit. And he points at the brand. So I don't think you're on the winning side, bud.
I'm gonna take a. Okay, this is gonna be a little weird. I'm gonna take a rugged roll from Batthew and a tumble roll from Kevin. This is a tumble roll in the place of a rugged roll for a Kevin. Just as a heads up, I'm doing this. You guys are gonna get some information, depending on what you succeed on. This is a 4 difficulty. Fine, perfect, excellent.
And you said rugged for me, right?
Rugged for you, yeah. It's a 3d6. No. It's okay. This is a one of you needs to succeed.
Okay.
And it'll be fine. You do not need to take the determination and the stress if you don't want to. You can if you want to, like, live your life.
I want to.
Okay.
Let's engage.
So one of the things
system.
that specifically, Kevin, you're gonna notice is that at like he's smallifying the place where the brand is. It doesn't look like that is the first place that the brand was. Like, there's areas on his skin that have been completely scarred over, like he had tried to remove the brand before. Or the brand has been removed. Whether or not that brand was removed and then reburned into his skin from an external force or an internal force, you do not know.
Now,
but it's definitely not the only place where the brand was.
He's heavily armored right now, yes?
No. Because he's a druid, he does not wear armor.
No, I mean armored as in...
Oh, like yeah, he has a very high AC due to the fact that he's covered in vines, yes.
So, Kevin, will walk up to him, and he's getting smaller now, right?
Yeah.
He'll grab him by wherever the neck should be, pull him close, look down at the brand, and he'll like hold up his blade, and he'll say, "Don't move."
Okay. Now, we're gonna hold that for a moment. Batthew, you're like 5 was kind of reaching him, but he has like this. You get the smell of fear off him, not like the "I pissed my pants" smell, but like he's worried about something, and you don't know if it's you.
Okay.
Okay. You think it's you. It could be you. That might be P. Actually, come to think of it,
It's probably
it could
me.
be Kevin. It could be totally
Probably
Kevin.
me.
As Kevin picks him up, I'm like, oh, it's probably Kevin.
Yeah, it's probably Kevin. There's something there, but you do definitely notice that there is a stillness to this druid that is reading to you, even in your failure, as an acceptance of fate, not as anything else.
Okay.
Uh,
Maybe he
Kevin,
already
please
knew
continue.
what's on the losing side.
Kevin, please continue menacing this poor person.
I think he's gonna try to burn the brand off, right?
Is he gonna freeze?
He's not moving. He can't move right now.
Then yes, I am going to attempt to burn or slice the brand off of his arm.
The brand is currently here.
On his shoulder, yes.
Yeah.
Off his shoulder.
Okay.
So like with a very either it depends on whether the blades are hot or not. If it's like lightsaber hot, then he's just gonna press his blade down on it. Otherwise, a quick, he's gonna attempt to be very precise. This is gonna be awesome. He's gonna attempt to be very precise. He's going to try to cut the brand off of his arm without him losing too. He's a werewolf. He can regenerate. He'll be fine. But
no, he's not a werewolf.
Oh, this one's not a werewolf? I don't care. It's already done. It's already done.
Oops.
He's got healing magic. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Theoretically, he's got healing magic. We'll see.
I think
The moment you slice the brand off, it immediately scars. And then you're holding him by his throat, right?
Yes.
kind of like scruffing
Your
him.
hand starts becoming hot, like burning hot, as this guy opens his mouth, and you notice that the inside of his mouth starts to have the shape of a brand, as if it's being pressed into the roof of his mouth. And he like screams, like a silent scream, and then just starts crumbling to dust in your hands.
Huh.
That's not what I expected.
God, that smelled awful.
In a few moments, you're holding nothing but vines.
Are the vines blighted?
Yeah.
Of course they are.
I think all of that, like the burning and the more burning and then the crumbling, I think it smelled so bad that that Batthew's
Wash
gonna
my
try to
hands,
turn back
give me a
into
moment.
a dwarf so he doesn't smell it.
I will also return to human form. Yes.
I would like werewolf rolls from each of you. Difficulty of 3, please.
3. I'm gonna spend 1 determination.
Okay. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. You shift back. You're fine. You don't have to smell things anymore. I mean, you still smell them, but it's not that
I mean,
bad.
it's still bad,
It's
but
not-
it's not like that bad.
It's not wolf senses.
Did you know that was going to happen?
Fuck no. What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Do you think they're all like that?
I think this is something we
There
should
are-
report.
the two werewolves that are dead.
Yeah, let's go over and like start looking them over for brands too.
They don't seem to have brands, as they have reverted back down to like their orc shapes, mind you. They look, unfortunately, they look young. Now, mind you, like orcs grow up relatively fast, right? But
Yeah.
like these look like the equivalent of just barely hit double digits, like if they were like a human. So this is the orc equivalent of an 11-year-old.
Yeah, Kevin will look up at Batthew and he'll say, I think these ones weren't forced. I think they were indoctrinated.
That's just a different kind of forced.
They don't have the brands, which means they probably chose, but was it really a choice?
The brand might also just be a druid thing. We don't know enough about it yet. Fuck.
Let's move on. If we find another group, we may be able to make a determination. He's clearly trying to get like a taste out of his mouth.
Let's knock out the next ones we come across. And he will take the time to like they don't have time to like give these orcs a proper burial, or he doesn't even know what would culturally be that, but he does like roll them onto their backs, make sure their eyes are closed, and like stick them in just the one spot next to the tree. And like looks up at the sky, looks around, and like tries to remember the spot where they left the bodies. And then
the moon is shining through the clearing, like the areas in the canopy that are blank. So there is the darkness, the dark greens and grays of the forest with like shafts of moonlight. Like it's bright fucking moonlight. The way that like sun rays come out of clouds, like that's what you're getting in the forest right now.
Yeah, like a harvest moon kind of full moon.
But it's like white instead of yellow.
Okay.
One might say that the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. That's amore. I'm a math teacher. I'm contractually obligated to make bad jokes. Moving on.
Yeah, let's... Like, he seems really wigged out about all of the discoveries we just made there.
You're welcome. All of those are canon.
Let's get back to it. So he tries to transform back.
You've managed to get back into your
poor form. I know.
No.
I'm at 3 stress right now, by the way.
3 stress and 3 stress?
Yes.
Excellent. That means you can't fail shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. We're made of different stuff. We're built different. We got this.
The woods and be in a woo for a moment. All right. As you arrange the bodies in a relatively controlled situation, so that potentially you could come back later and deal with them, possibly loot, but that's besides the point. You hear downwind now.
So south of us.
Well, the wind's moving.
Okay.
You know that your scent is now being carried to something else that is approaching. There is a sense moving through the forest, like you can kind of see it. You're on the ground, but the way that the canopy moves and the way that the light moves, there is something coming. You can tell. If you would like to know more, you can shift back down to Wolf to get a good perception-y check type thing. Or you can just see what happens.
I think actually Batthew, being the scout that he is going to try to climb a tree and get up and like kind of hide in the boughs to like maybe get a better perspective, but also kind of be where he's not expected to be when this thing comes in.
Meanwhile, Kevin is going back into his shifter form and getting into his absolute best come at me pose.
Okay, excellent.
It looks something like this.
Matters. I'm gonna take a werewolf roll from both of you, not for shifting, but for like as a perception check equivalent. This is going to be a difficulty of 3 because of werewolf.
I will take that 6. Thank you very much. Fuck you 1. And a 3. Not bad.
Okay.
Stress 4.
Take the stress point. Okay. So what Batthew, you notice is there is a blindingly bright light heading in your direction.
Is it level with me as I'm up in the canopy, or is it closer
under
to the ground?
canopy. It is like the brightness from the moon was underneath the canopy moving towards you fast.
Right. Okay. So that's what he got.
That's what you
that
get.
It's coming in.
Kevin, you are now starting to see this light kind of like, you know, in horror movies, the way that like light moves through the forest because they want to show ominousness. That is happening. I want you to know that it's positive, as you are going to be describing because you succeeded. What do you see?
So you said there is a light that's kind of like moonlight, yes?
Yes, it is. It is basically if the light that the moon is currently giving off, which gives those like harsh edged bright ray light coming down, is coming forward towards you in the trees.
Okay. I will say that what I see is another orcish, allegedly druid, approaching with said light at the end of their staff.
Okay.
And sort of flanking them are some of the blighted plant creatures that we've been seeing as we go. They are moving in my direction because they have sensed where I'm at. But as the light actually bathes Kevin Bonewolf, they will pull up short and take a look at this madman who's covered in blood and the most awesome coat you've ever seen.
He's also a wolf, right?
Who's also he's shifter right now, so yeah, like sort of half and half.
Hybrid.
And they will be immediately, if instantaneously, cowed. Perhaps temporarily, but as they find the thing they were looking for, the first thought through the mind of the druid is, I did not sign up for this.
Doing the crazy eye.
Give us a good crazy eye real quick. Excellent. The druid, the staff itself is like this ebony staff. And you see the druid, her hand tighten on it, like white knuckle. There is a factor where normally an orc's skin would be green, but you see like the color has been drained away out of her arms. Like her face is still like a palish green color, but her hands, as far as you can see them to about the elbow before they go into robes, are like white and pale with green veins.
Drop your staff.
You can give me a rugged, please.
I'm not gonna do well on that, but we'll see. I'll take a 2.
Oh no, what's your stress?
Level?
My stress level is 3. Bad things.
So you are surrendering to the wolf for a little bit, my dear. You fully woo out. Now, your stress is primarily injury at this point. Is that correct? Or is it emotionally based?
No, I took 1 injury at the very beginning, and that was intentional. At this point, it is frustration that these people are not immediately surrendering upon looking at Kevin Bonewolf. Look at me, I'm covered in blood, I've got this awesome coat, why are you not already surrendering?
Surrender to the awoo, my dude. What happens to you? You are going to be out of play for a moment, for a bit, until these fine gentlemen are gone.
Perfect. I'm gonna go take a bio break while that's happening.
Excellent. Can you bring me a drink?
So does he just bolt into the woods? Is he just standing there?
I'm gonna say he probably just like shifts down and then like runs off, just like in frustration. You might like run towards them and pass them and through them.
Yeah, like run
But,
towards
like-
it and duck out of the way.
Yeah, and just like he keeps going for a bit. He'll come back. It's okay. Now, Batthew,
Still up in the canopy,
from
looking
your
down.
position in the canopy, you see this happen. Now, the other thing that you see is that these two blighted tree people,
Like
I
twig
guess,
blights, I think is what he
they're
said.
they're like the older brother of a twig blight, let's say.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called.
Twig bushes or
I don't
blight bushes.
something like that. I don't read that section. My characters hate the blades. They are not menacing to an extent. They are still like paused.
Are they just kind of like flanking the female orc, kind of like guarding her? Not really like aggressing.
You get the sense that they're either guarding or
just
guarding
following?
or following. Like they are a collective group together.
Okay. I have a crazy idea.
I'm gonna give you this as a thing that you notice. There is a vine from each of these two twig blights that travels out of them and under her robes.
Okay.
And if anybody gets that fucking reference, goddamn. There's only 2, not 4. You're welcome. That's a deep cut, and I'll let y'all know later.
Like my mind went like Michonne, like her first appearance in The Walking Dead, but that's obviously not what this is. Okay.
It's a book reference.
So he just saw Kevin run off, losing himself to the uwu. I think the dumb idea he has is he's gonna wait until she's under him and he's gonna drop and he's gonna try to grab the staff out of her hand as he drops on her.
Excellent. That sounds great. Actually, you know what? Give me a tumble for that shit. I'm
spending my last determination point.
Okay.
What's the difficulty?
And your stress is at what?
My stress is at 4. What's the difficulty?
This is a fucking 5, and you know.
Okay. Okay, come on. Oh!
Excellent.
Womp, womp.
I have an idea for how this went wrong.
You know, I'm open to listen to how your idea went wrong. You do lose yourself to the wolf, you drop out of it, and then bolt. For all intents and purposes, what else would you like to add to that before we pick up after you guys find yourselves?
As he was dropping and trying to grab the staff, he drops wrong and just cracks his skull on the skull of this orc, and he's still despite the pain trying to swipe at it. So as he loses himself to the wolf, he transforms into a wolf and is biting at the staff like a dog with a stick for a little bit, and then he gives up and runs away. But it's that thing of let go.
Excellent.
As you losing yourself to the wolf gets rid of all your stress.
Gets rid of all of your stress and your determination.
So
back to zeros.
For the sake of the story, Kevin, as he is bolting out, will happen on a scouting party of just orcs, none of whom either have the brand or willingly transformed. And as werewolves are wont to do, he is likely to wake up or come back to himself surrounded by a pile of orcish bodies in various states of disrepair.
Please roll me a werewolf check real quick.
I got a 3 and a 4, so 4.
Yeah. Some of those dudes are gonna survive. You have added to the werewolf population, my guy. It happens.
Well, at least it's not Malar style werewolf.
Yeah, they're weird now. As you come to, it doesn't take that much longer. It's the full moon night. Being able to come back into yourself. Weirdly, is easier on the full moon night. Usually wouldn't be, but this is weird games.
We're weird werewolves.
We're weird werewolves. You come back to yourself in a clearing that you don't know. The two of you ended up in the same clearing. There is a small pond here. At least one of your feet is wet. You get to pick which one.
Yeah, I would say that Batthew's, instead of the Kevin where he went into the werewolf side of just rip name, to that was kind of to clear the mind. I think Batthew's instinct, because of what was stressing him into losing to the wolf, I think his instinct was find pack, protect pack, get to the pack, and that's why he ends up finding Kevin again. And when they come to, he's doing that thing where the wolves do, where it's the lead wolf is there and the other one is putting its head in front of his throat to guard him. He's just sticking to your side. Must protect.
As you come to, there is this small little pond type thing that you're in a clearing of, and you see in the pond the white disc of Saloon. And if you look up, you see it. There's the two there. For a moment, you see the figure of a woman in the moonlight between this true moon and this reflection of the moon. A reflection of the light of the moon, which is the reflection of the sun's light. And in that moment, you see this woman reach out and touch each of your snouts. And that's what brings you back to yourself. And just in that flash, you can remember her face. And there is a small white spot on each of your noses right there, where she booped you on the snoot.
So as we come back, given what Gail described earlier, they both come back, and Kevin is sort of standing there on all fours with Batthew's head underneath his chin.
Yeah.
So as they come back and sort of realize what's going on, he's going to look down and he's going to say, "I'm the alpha."
Gonna trip him into the pond.
100%.
Just grab.
Right.
Just because I'm down there, I'll grab one of his legs and throw it. I'm the bigger wolf.
100%.
The alpha in the other world is sitting in a forge right now.
No.
Minding her own damn business.
So yes, we come to.
Mm-hmm. It's still night because the moon is still in the middle of the sky.
You as you come to, you notice it's been about half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Now, mind you, if an attack is happening, a lot has happened.
Mm-hmm.
A lot has happened.
So immediately look up. Is there smoke or any evidence of flames?
Fire for sure, my guy. There's
lovely.
Now, mind you, the orcs have been burning the air, have been spreading the blight in however the way they've determined to spread the blight, be that through fire or whatever the fuck else. But there is smoke and fire, and there are aspects of the sky that are orange. At this point, you cannot tell north from south.
Yeah, this clearing isn't a place in the forest I've been before on any of my scouting missions. Okay.
You are in a place where the sky, while there is orange on the horizon, it is very faint to you, and you see a crystal blue-black of the sky and the moon. And that's all you see in the sky. With there's no stars. You're not sensing stars right now. There's a bit of orange on the horizon, but that's it.
So the mission now is to get back to King Barnabas. We have information that he needs, and I have no idea where we are.
I don't know where we are either, and that means we're deep into territory that I haven't scouted yet. This could also be an opportunity. I do a quick check around to see, do a quick perimeter, this, because it's the pond in a clearing, right?
There there's some weird shit about this area. You're both gonna notice this. It takes a bit for you to notice it. The pond seems to be, if not in the exact center of the clearing, almost in the exact center of the clearing. Like, you would have to measure it to be sure, but it is also, the pond itself is also perfectly round.
Did you see the woman in the moonlight too? Like, I think like I saw a woman in the moonlight. Did you see a woman in the moonlight?
I saw something, definitely. I think, maybe. I don't know.
You both each have like this little white mark right on the top of your nose.
You've got a thing on your snout. Do I have a thing on my snout?
Yes.
I have no idea what's going on.
I think this is some god shit going on.
God shit.
But, I mean, didn't seem like Malar, so maybe it's one of the good ones.
Quick question. I'm reaching here, but I believe that Kevin may be aware of who Illustrial is. Is this the person that he saw? Illustrial.
I don't know who Illustrial is.
Fair enough. Okay, just making sure you're not connecting this back to other plots, which you're allowed to do, but just making sure.
Out of character, I think we saw an aspect of Saloon herself. But I don't think...
As you notice, there are a number of large trees around the edges of the forest. The number 7 specifically, and they're evenly spaced.
If only my character wasn't a dumbass. You might be able to know what that means.
Well, it means this place was made. It didn't just happen.
Yeah.
We should be cautious, because whoever made it might live nearby.
I think it was the woman in the moonlight. That's my bet.
There could not have been a woman in the moonlight. There's nobody here. Like, I thought I saw it too, but it didn't happen. There's nobody here.
Meeny, miny, mo. That direction, just starts walking.
As you start heading, you all
Batthew!
Walking. As you start moving, Batthew, you notice there is no wind in this clearing.
There's no what? No wind. Okay.
No wind. It's perfectly still. As you're about to leave the clearings between these two large trees, there are small rocks at the bottom of each that have a number of symbols carved onto them. It's not really holding your memory, but you know that there's carved.
How big are the rocks? Like
about the size of your head. Your dwarf head.
Yeah, probably couldn't pocket one of those then, huh? He's gonna look at the symbols of those two trees really hard, just like, you know, do whatever memory thing he has to, like, okay, swirl, then a something, whether like he memorizes the symbols so he could recount them later.
As much as you can. Okay.
Yep. And then says, "You coming or what? Let's go."
Oh.
All right.
I mean, nothing's happening here, so we should go somewhere else, right?
Right.
Start walking into the forest again.
Kevin, you watch him leave, and the moment he steps beyond the trees, it's like he vanishes into the forest.
Damn it, Batthew.
Batthew, you cannot hear him say that. He says nothing. If you look back to see if he's following you, there is no clearing.
He doesn't look back. He's just like,
I figured you wouldn't, but
and then he's gonna try to catch up because I'm the alpha.
Not cool. Not cool. You can't just leave me here like this. I will begin to step forward. I will begin to step forward as I am complaining at Batthew for clearly developing some sort of new magical ability that I didn't know about, the bastard. And I'll sort of step forward into the direction he was going.
And as soon as you step out of the clearing as well, if you are to look back, there is no clearing, and the wind starts picking up, and you can start hearing things things again.
Batthew! As he walks through.
Oi, catch up. But now that there's wind and sounds of other things again, can we try to figure out where the fuck we are or what's nearest to us?
I'm not going to give you like a good locationing type thing, but you do sense that you are to the east of like the orc camp. You're like if you went northeast.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we went north, a little northwest, and then really northeast.
Yep.
Okay.
Like I want to say about maybe like 20 to 25 minutes of hard running northeast.
Yeah, so we're beyond the no man's zone. We're into like full orc territory at this point.
You're into it, but like still in the woods where they have it's on the side of where they've claimed.
Yeah.
But
this is their side of the mountain, but it's not in their camp immediately.
And now we know the direction to go to get home. Yes?
Yeah, you can figure it out as soon as you get out of the clearing.
Yeah.
In the clearing, there is no directions.
We're also behind enemy lines when most of the forces might be out. I don't know, it seems like a good opportunity to me. Maybe we just go a little west, see what the camp looks like right now.
Knowledge that these soldiers might be fighting against their will is necessary. Are you certain we'll survive? Of course
Absolutely
we will. What am I
not.
even talking about?
Come
Let's
on.
go.
What? Okay. Like you had started to convince him it was a bad idea.
He immediately convinces himself in the middle of his own sentence. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Let's. Okay. And we're both still in full wolf form, right?
Yes.
So that's as much as camouflage as we can have, because as far as we know, no one else can turn into a wolf. I mean, I guess
you also
druids
haven't
can.
seen any wolves in the area.
Nah.
But that's besides the point.
So yeah, trying to get close enough to see what kind of commotion or happenings is happening at the orc camp.
At the orc camp. All right. As you head in the direction of the orc camp, the pads of your feet hitting the ground, not making any of the normal moving through the wool, like the forest sounds that your other shapes would have. You come upon the edge of the orc camp. And you come upon the edge of the orc camp far before you come upon the edge of the orc camp, if that makes sense. There is the taste of ash in the air as the trees begin to thin substantially, and the ones that remain, instead of being the stalwart defenders of the forest that trees are, have been hollowed out and burned from the inside, leaving them nothing but ghosts of trees. Their leaves gone, their limbs cracked, and some of them still glowing with an internal fire.
Mm-hmm.
You see symbols carved into these trees, almost like they were scratched in with claws, or a dagger shaped like a claw.
Are like the closest symbols that we can see, are any of them similar to what we just saw on the rocks in the clearing?
They are not the same as the ones in the rocks. I don't know if your characters would have like religion-based stuff, but they're definitely similar to the brand, except of a different, like, magical flavor.
Yeah. Right.
If that makes sense.
Similar artistic style.
Similar artistic style to the shitty brand in that guy's mouth.
Okay. Are there any people here? Like, because there's this kind of like where the forest gets thinned out and burnt, and then beyond is where the actual camp is.
And like as it turns into a ground that has, for all intents and
scorched.
It's been scorched and salted. Like, you can taste the salt in the air. This forest will never recover.
Cool. But are there people beyond? Like, can we hear?
At this point where you're seeing, no.
No.
Not at this edge.
So at this edge, I mean, I kind of blend in. I'm kind of an ashy color. I don't know about you, Mr. Midnight
roll
Dark
around in
over
the
there.
air.
Oh, I am
become an ashy
so
color.
glorious, but some of
You
the
ruined
ash
your
is
jacket.
catching on my coat, my amazing, really cool coat,
Mhm.
and it gives me a little bit. But no, I'm pretty unsubtle.
You're also like a dark shadow of a wolf.
Like, is
If you
this
say-
is this light gray ash or is this dark gray ash?
This is dark gray ash.
Okay, so I'm at least okay. It's not
But
like
also
it's not
you
like the
can-
wrong moth on the tree.
But also, if you like stand slightly to the side of Batthew, then you just look like Batthew's shadow stood up.
Oh, wait, I was gonna say, Bathy's like, we could do a little better, and then he tackles you into the ground and like rolls you into the ash. There you go, much
You
better.
never get
Let's
that
go.
out of your coat.
But it
Or, I don't know.
does look like it'll be effective.
Do we want to do a I don't know if contested roles are a thing in this system, but to see who comes out
fine.
out on top in the pin from the roll.
You're gonna pull a Nala on me. That's what you're gonna do. No, I will not. I will not stand for that.
All right. Like, I'm cool rolling Tumble and see who gets the highest result. Does that
Done.
sound cool?
Done. I'm down. Do it.
Shit. Shit. Shit.
You can take a stress if you'd like.
No, I'm not taking a stress.
I'm embarrassed.
It's pretty honestly like narratively nice anyway, so fine.
Yeah, really good.
So it's for a moment they're almost like two pups just, play fighting, and then
Batthew ends up on the top.
So who's the alpha now?
he doesn't say anything, but he like licks your snout and then goes bounding off, like, follow me.
In the camp, there is a storehouse you find that is being guarded currently by a number of orcs, some of which are not shifted currently, but that you can tell with the smell that they could at a moment. And you sense that these are more experienced than you are.
The fact that they're not transformed in the full moon tells me they've got some degree of control in the first place.
Yes. The other scent that you get from this area is iron and pumpkin.
Like metal iron or blood iron?
Metal iron.
How big is the shed thing that they're guarding? So like just a little like 5 by
10
5?
by 15. Like
Okay.
10 by 15. It's a walk-in closet.
So aside from the shed and the people guarding it, like the camp itself looks pretty deserted. Like there's tents and stuff
Like
still
there's
up,
some people here. Every camp has non-combatants attached to it. Most of those non-combatants in this camp are also combatants, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But they are not part of the main combat force. Even in like goblin tribes, you normally only deal with the combatants. Like you don't necessarily deal with like the children.
Yeah.
But in this camp, from what you've ascertained, as per the 11-year-old that you have found, even the younger have been turned.
Is there, so the one thing of note is the structure with the guards around it. Everything else is just like typical war camp, what we would expect.
Yeah, a typical war camp stuff. There's a lot of like, this is not the spot that they would send those that don't fight to be safe. This is not that spot.
Yeah. Are the people who are guarding talking at all, or they're just like kind of silently doing their little patrols and standing?
They're kind of just doing like little bit of patrols. They're actually I'll take werewolf rolls, difficulty of 3 from both of you.
I'll get a 5.
Nice.
I'll fail that one. Did you?
Kevin, what you do notice is that as I'm gonna say some stuff and then you can add some stuff to this, we'll call it. You notice that only some of the smells that you're getting read as this is a werewolf in an orc shape. Some of the others are not, and you can tell that of the 6 individuals that you can see, there is one that is not a werewolf and clearly being treated as the most important person in the world. And then in hierarchy, then there's the werewolves, and then there are 2 non-werewolves that are basically shit in the hierarchy list.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like 5 or 6 rungs before them.
But the most important person doesn't smell like a werewolf.
Most important person does not smell like a werewolf.
I can take it from there. The most important person doesn't smell like a werewolf, but does smell very much of blighted plant matter.
And pumpkin.
Those folks who have been with our stream for a very long time will recognize as this normally humanoid creature is sort of covered around the arms and around the legs in blighted vines that are essentially controlling him like a marionette. But unlike King Barnabas, this is not an automaton. This is not someone who is simply being puppeted. This is someone who has potentially accepted the assimilation, as it were, of this blighted plant, taken it into their body, and now command these lycanthropes.
So you read all of that, you know, as we're like circling the outskirts, getting better things, and like once you have that info and share it, like that's when Bathew's like, okay, now we need to get the fuck back and tell them about this. I don't think we can take that guy and all the guards, but Barnabas needs to know about this.
Okay, 2 things. 1, we could totally take that guy.
I don't think so.
We could totally take that guy.
Guy may be on his own, but he's not on his own.
We're gonna leave, but we could totally take that guy.
That guy on his own, totally, yes. The dozens of people around, no.
How much of him do you think is still human? Or whatever he was before he became what he is?
I mean, I'm just smelling pumpkin.
This is a walk and talk? Yeah, or you're standing there. I just gotta know.
For a moment, no, Kevin is going to like take a moment and have a final glance at this creature made of pumpkins, apparently, or pumpkin vines, and be like, and then shake his head and turn around and start to leave. But he will hesitate for a moment. All right.
And I guess the goal now is to get back to the Bouldershoulder camp area without getting killed.
Well, so there is some options here, because I normally only run like 2 hours at a time. We're coming up on that 2-hour mark. I think it should be relatively easy for you guys to get back, personally. However, you are going to be walking into some fucking problems. Rob, you know what those problems are, and you can tell Olivia what those problems are if you would like to. Otherwise, I think this is a good spot to stop as you guys are heading back. But that's my opinion. That's all I actually technically have. Yay.
why don't we go ahead and take a 10-minute break? It is coming up on 7:55 p.m. Pacific, so we'll be back at 8:05. We might go just straight to the post game, which is totally fine. I love that idea. But I hope you will join us. Thank you for being with us so far. Stick around. We will be right back. Oh. Okay, now I'm moving to the Be Right Back screen. That was amazing.